All right. And we are now live. Can you still hear me and see me okay, Krissy?
Yes, it's perfect. I
All
can see you
right.
perfectly well and hear you.
Araful Islam, hello. Thank you for being here. We're going to do a little bit of an interview here with Krissy today. And instead of reading each comment as they come, we will check back in our comment section. So if you have any questions, I would hope that you would put them here in the chat, and we will hope. Unlike last time, Krissy tried to ask a question and I cut her off and didn't see the question. So I'll try to be better today about the
Yes,
question. But if you
right.
can start those out with an emoji, that would even help me clearly. How are you
Okay.
today, Krissy?
I'm doing great. What day is this? I was about to say happy Friday, but I guess it's just Tuesday. I'm a little ahead.
Listen, don't excite me. Don't say happy.
Right.
It's just Tuesday. I was on vacation, so it does feel like a different day than Tuesday for me today. Did you
Oh,
have
that's
a
right.
day?
Yeah, I had a really good day. I had to, work, but got that done. And now I'm off the clock and just excited in my day. Yeah. So, did
Off the
you have a
clock.
good day today? Yes, off
I
the
did.
clock.
I did.
Yes,
I'm not, like
good.
I say, I'm off the clock. I'm not answering the phone. I hope you can find all of your essentials.
Right?
I'm a housekeeper, and you'd be surprised at how many people will call me and say,
Oh my gosh.
what did you do with said I? There's been a
It's
lot
like,
of weird ones.
right. It's like it's right where I left it or right where you left it. Yes. It's amazing
My husband,
how people depend on us for so many things in life, but that shows you're valuable. They need you.
that's right.
Yeah.
I had a question from a male customer who said, "What did you do with my laundry?" And I thought, that's an odd question for you to ask me. Where would you put your laundry if you had done it yourself?
Right. That's great.
Maybe check there first.
Yeah.
So,
And then,
if you want to answer the question, what do you do for a living?
oh, sure. So I work at a biotech company. And so I live in California. So I work in a biotech company and I do the administrative support for the team. So I work in our department is really good, digital health. And so I basically support some global heads and helping to make them more efficient, run smoothly, make their life easier so they can focus on other things. So that's what I do. My day job.
That's your
Yeah,
that's your day job.
my
Do you
day
have
job.
several? Do you have
No,
several
so
sides other than YouTube?
well, and it's Krissy is my evening job.
Oh, I
So
got you.
trying to grow my channel, but yeah, so that's my day job is an executive assistant, I guess you would call it. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds
Hmm.
like you're keeping a lot of fires
Yes.
from not smoldering or do smolder, whichever one you're wanting to do. I guess.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Work
trying to do. Yes.
right.
You're right.
And do you
You're right.
do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I
You have a
actually do. I
really good
do.
smile on your face when you talk about it. So I'm thinking
Yeah,
you
I
enjoy
do.
the.
I definitely love my job, and it's a plus when you work around some good people and you don't have stress. So I'm loving it. I have no
Right.
complaints. Yes, yes.
That
So
is definitely key. So how long have you been
mm,
in that business?
yes. So I was. It's what's interesting is I worked here before for almost 12 years, and then I left and went into event planning for a little bit. So I did trade shows and conferences, and then I actually just came back to the same company in April. So I've been here since April, my second round. And so it's nice
Oh,
because I still have my network of people that I knew before. And I just feel like I came back home to the family, is what it feels like. So
oh,
it's been really good.
I bet that event planning was a little more stressful than this job you've got now.
Oh my
Um,
God. It was very stressful. And then when COVID came and everything that whole industry I think, turned upside
just
down after
went to the
COVID.
wayside. Um,
Yeah. So I think it'll
so
take
many
some
things.
time. Yeah, it's going to take some time for that to pick back up again. As you know, with COVID, no one wants to
Right
be in
here.
large crowds.
No, here we are. What, 8 months in? Can you imagine
Yeah.
that we would be here? Oh,
No.
sorry, that's the
Who
wrong
would have?
button, Michelle.
Yeah.
I
I don't
covered you
think
up.
it. Oh. Yep. I
Took
still
you a
see
while
you, so
to.
everything is perfect. I can still see you.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So as far as your channel, how
Yeah.
did you come across that name?
Okay. Perfect. So, as you know, my channel is called It's Simply Krissy. And so for me, I think I can relate to many women, and I can't even say just women and men out there who have tried every diet, every plan under the sun. I mean, I think if I started listing them off, you would be like, yep, I've heard of that. You know, South Beach, Food Addicts Anonymous, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. There's just so many things that FAA, HCG. I think I've tried everything. And then it just got to a point in my life where I was like, okay, there has to be a simple approach to all of this. And hence was born, it's Simply Krissy. There has to be a simple approach to what I eat so I can maintain my weight without constantly obsessing about it. I just felt like I got to a point where I would eat one meal and I'd have to be thinking about what's the next meal to stay within those caloric intake, those calories. And I just felt like it had to be a simple approach. And, hence I looked into keto and different things of that nature. But there had to be a simple approach to what I eat to keep weight off, to working out to keep weight off, where it wasn't so tedious, where I would drop off. So and even just balancing life, I felt like it has to be a simple approach to all of this. And so that's my quest now. How can I keep my eating plan simple when I do my keto meals? That's why I always like to put recipes on my channel too, because I know there's people out there that just want it simple. They don't want 20 ingredients to make a meal. Just simple, life is busy, and let's keep going, And so that's why I came up with this channel. How can I keep this all very simple and maintain all of this in my life? So the birth of Simply Krissy.
Yes, that's great. And believe me, on the diet projects, it's easier probably for both of us to list what we haven't tried yet versus what we have tried. Exactly. I have tried many of those as well. Are you the only ketoer in your household, or do you?
Yeah, so definitely my husband, and actually I think that might be him who just joined the Kimball Project. He is definitely by far not a keto follower. And so he does a lot of bodybuilding strength training. So I live in a household where I'm trying to manage my caloric intake, and he wants to, in order to lift heavy weight, he has to eat massively and lots of carbs. And so you can imagine, and that could be a YouTube video. How do you live in a household where you have two people who are trying to be healthy, but they have two totally different goals and food plans? So yeah, it's a little different.
That's a strong. It has to keep you strong too, to stay on your side and have him stay on his side.
Yes.
Well, hi, the Kimball Project. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah. Looks like we have Rosio Salas.
Salas. Hello, Rosio. How are you? And I have asked you this before about your Facebook. Are you going to start It's Simply Krissy Facebook page so that you can be on more than one platform?
Definitely. So I have an Instagram account also. It's Simply Krissy, and I plan on doing also opening a Facebook account as well. So just trying to, just basically after this interview, I thought about it. I need to get out there into more social media outlets. So that's definitely the next step. More platforms. Yep, definitely.
Correct. You may want to look into Clapper. It is something new. They're having a lot of technical difficulties right now, but they're working with everyone to solve them.
Okay.
There's my dad. Sir Pa is in. Hi, Dad. And but it's kind of like a TikTok. It's a more uncensored platform, and I agree. I can't get on at my house. I can't be on the socials because of the service out there. So I need to even bulk up on my other platforms and try to check in with everybody, because you have people that aren't on YouTube that are on Facebook, as Rosio is, and so multiple platforms I see helping people.
Yes, I agree. Definitely.
What did you think about your carnivore challenge?
Yeah.
Okay, did you do? 7 days?
I did 5 days. 5 days. So I'm not sure how many folks know, but the carnivore diet basically is you're eating meat or something that came from an animal. So meat, eggs is pretty much the bulk. So funny. Hello. Yes, I am a carb monster. My husband is. He likes to I say he has
Is he,
jokes.
is he taunting you with the carbs as my husband does? He taunts me with.
Yes, 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 yes. But he made me lose my thought. I'm so sorry.
That's
He made me
okay.
totally lose my thought. To ask your question to me again, I'm not going to pay attention to my husband's comments on the side, but ask me your question again.
What did you think about the carnivore
Yes.
experiment, your
Okay.
challenge that you did?
Thank you, Michelle. So I did carnivore for 5 days. I would say day one, what I found with carnivore and the key with that is making sure you cook things that are very flavorful. And don't just try to say, I'm just going to make chicken breast and eat that for 5 days, because you will get very bored and you will just be done with it. So I made, like, starting off the week, I made a roast, used all the spices I could to build that up. I even did like a surf and turf and did like shrimp and salmon. And I thought about doing like a hibachi where you have, like, when you go to Benihana's, and shrimp steak and chicken. So you just have to be very creative. But some people are okay. I'm not sure if you are, with eating the same thing every day. I'm just not that type of person. And so I knew that I had to um, just provide myself with lots of options. And so what I found is each day I lost about 1.5 pounds a day. So at the end of my 5 days, I lost a little bit over 5 pounds. And so I thought if you, I would say, hit a weight plateau and you're looking for something to help break that plateau, carnivore is definitely, if you can stomach the meat, just so much, heavy protein. I think it's a great way to wake up your diet or to shake you out of that plateau. So for me, I thought it was great.
Yes, I think over the plateau, you have to shake things up. You have to do something different.
Yeah,
I've done about everything there is to do with keto except for
yeah.
carnivore. I don't
Oh,
think I've went straight carnivore before. So when I seen, of course, that was a
hmm,
trick question. I know how your experiment ended, but I was thinking
I
five
know.
pounds is a
5 pounds.
really good deal for 5
Yeah,
days.
exactly. And I think I saw you do the egg fast diet on your channel. Didn't you do egg fast?
I've done the egg fast several times. I've done it 3 separate times, and they've
Hmm.
all came off with weird results. The first
Oh,
one was the
interesting.
best one. The best one, I lost about 8 pounds. The first
Okay.
one.
Hmm.
The
That's
second
good.
one, probably 5 pounds. But
Mm.
the last one, I didn't lose a thing. I just
Hmm.
did the thing. So I don't.
Wow.
So it's very interesting that each
Yeah.
person is so different, that we can do
Everybody's different. Yeah,
all of
I
those
agree.
different things.
I totally agree. I tried the egg diet, and I think after a couple of days of eggs, I was just over it. I couldn't eat another egg. And so for me, I found carnivore because I could eat lots of different types of meats. I think it worked for me. So it was good. It was good.
Well, that is great.
Hmm. Yes.
It is hot in here. Let's
Oh, it is warm.
go to the
Oh, that's not.
comments for just a minute.
Yeah.
Well, my dad says both of you ladies are looking very lovely today.
Oh,
Seems like
thank you,
keto
Sir
is
Pa.
working.
Oh, thank
he always
you.
wanted he always wanted one of the grandkids to call him that, but we never could convince them that they needed to call him Sir Pa. So
Oh, I love that. Sir Pa. Hi, Sir Pa.
and so on your fitness goals, did you get into the fitness side of the things first, or did you do
Yeah.
your eating plan first?
Um,
How did
I,
that
that's a
come
good
about?
question. So for me, I focus on the food first, and I know that everybody does that differently. And so again, you can imagine living in a household with your husband who is strictly fitness. And so, because he was encouraging me, if you would focus on the weights and you would do X, Y, and Z, it will start to transform your body as well. But then sometimes as a woman, you're stuck on that scale. You're like, okay, before I start lifting weights, I need the number to say a certain thing, because as we know, muscle weighs more than fat. But it's just one of those things that if there's any women out there, sometimes we get stuck on, let me get the number to a certain point, then I'll pick up the medal. But I think for me, I've always played around with beach body workouts, going to the
Mhm.
gym periodically, but I've never been a consistent fitness person. That's why I felt like I need a simple, like now I do a lot of walking or like circuit, or sometimes I'll do something on Beachbody. I need variety. And if I don't get variety, I get bored and I want to quit. So I have to liven it up in my food and also in my workout and fitness. And so now I've been pretty much consistently, I think since COVID, and in the Bay Area, we have so many fires. So it's kind of like you have to have an alternative workout plan when you can't get outside and be able to do things inside, because we've had so many forest fires here in California. So I have to have a backup plan. But yeah,
right.
So that's what
and
I've
it
done.
sounds like across your platform, you're one of those that needs more variety and a little. Yeah, autumn is my favorite Beachbody.
Oh, I love autumn.
And that she's the one that the reason I started lifting weights myself. So
nice. Yeah, she's a motivating.
Yeah, if you can't get motivated by autumn,
you won't get motivated.
No, you can't be motivated.
I also
started with food first, but at a heavy set weight, it's hard to get motivated to be in the gym or, like you said, do workouts with a bigger body with hurting joints already. So
I totally agree.
I'm kind of in between right now. Some days I am motivated, and some days I am not motivated.
Yeah, and I saw that chair. I was about to say, I saw the chair yoga that you've been collaborating. I think that's really great. That's even a great start for people who aren't at the point yet where they want to be a gym rat, so to speak. And with COVID, a lot of people just aren't going to the gym just from their own safety preferences. But I saw that you did that yoga collab, which I thought was really, really great as well.
I would love to start every person on yoga. If I could touch each person and leave them with an imprint, the yoga would be. Yoga is where I started, and it seriously saved my life.
Wow.
And it saved my life. So I always I was just at vacation seeing my dad, and poor thing, he had to walk across my yoga mat out on the back porch every morning to go outside because I unrolled and left it there. So
wow. Well, that's dedication. So that's awesome. It's really good.
Yeah. So did you have any children? Do you and your husband have children?
So we have 2 fur babies, Max and Chip, but we don't have any kids. I used to be a school teacher as well. So I think I felt like I had all the children I ever needed in life. I love kids, but just we decided not to be full-time parents. Our fur babies keep us plenty busy.
What kind of fur babies are they?
They're Pekingese. We keep them shaved very short, so you wouldn't know because they don't have the long hair with the barrettes or anything like that. But they, they're fun. They're fun little boys. But yeah. So every day when I work, they just sit under my desk all day and rest and hang out with me all day. Yeah.
They're just content to hang out under the desk until mom gets up.
Until I get ready to go. Yeah. Exactly.
If they're like most fur babies, they're not aware they're fur babies.
No,
they just think they're part of the family.
Exactly. And they are too. So yeah, those are babies. Yeah.
I'm trying to talk my husband back into getting another animal. We had a lab, and she was 17, and he says he's not ready yet still. So one day I'm going to talk him back into it. My walking buddy.
Yes. They definitely keep you going for sure.
Yes, they do.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Your husband says he's not just into fitness. He eats 4,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Could you imagine? So imagine me trying to eat half of that, if not more than half of that, less than half of that. And then an example, last night he wants to go to Subway and pick up sandwiches. So it's like there's that constant, I'm not going to go for a ride with you. I don't want to be tempted. And so it's just that constant. You have to, when you live in a household, you have to, and there's 2 different food plans. It takes something to stay dedicated and focused.
Just pick your battles, right? No, honey, I'm not going to Subway with you.
Right? Exactly.
Or like my family. I have 2 boys, a 21-year-old and 25-year-old. The 25-year-old doesn't live with me, but going through a drive-through on a late evening and having to smell whatever that is all the way home till my stuff is ready and prepared and at the house waiting on me.
Yes.
It's specifically hard to
it takes some energy to stay focused.
That is another good idea. How do I stay keto in a household where we're not all keto? That's great.
Yeah, that's all I was saying. We need to. That's a great video. That's in the queue. Yeah.
We need to come up with something we can collab on too. Maybe we could Beachbody or something.
Oh, that'd be good. Okay, let's talk about that.
I haven't been by lately to see what new things are coming up. My cousin is a coach, so I guess I could go.
Oh, Beachbody coach, nice.
Yeah, she's but I think Autumn's the one I clicked with. So I've tried several
Yes.
other ones. Just don't know that I could go again.
Yeah.
Or we could get you into weights. We could get you into weights. Me and your husband can talk you into doing some lifting.
He's gonna bring that up tonight for sure.
Husband, I'm helping you. I'm gonna help you.
No.
He makes it pretty tough for you, he says. I make it pretty tough. But at least he knows he's being a pain. So does mine. But we love y'all. That's why you're still around.
Yes. Yeah.
So on your recipe side of your channel there, I don't recall seeing the last one that you did, but is there one specific recipe? I know you're a variety, but is there one specific recipe that you could really like into more than 1 or 2 days a week, or is it required to heat up?
I would say usually when I do cook, I try to cook something that I can eat on for a couple, 3 days. Like I mentioned, Kimball, there's only a few things that I cook, quote unquote, that he feels are keto that he will eat. I did this one recipe that I need to film that I was testing out chicken strips, right? Because as you know, sometimes almond flour will just kind of slide off. It doesn't do a lot of breading appropriately. So I was able to combine the pork rinds and fresh Parmesan cheese, and then dip the egg batter, and it just made such a nice coating on it. So it's finding recipes that he feels are regular food, as he would probably call it. And so like tonight, for example, I was craving like a chili cheese dog, but I said I found this recipe that's a chili cheese dog bake. And so for him, it's like, whoa, that's great. I'm gonna go pick up a bun. But for me, I just ate it. So I basically did chili with beef and Italian sausage, onion, and bell pepper. And then I actually just cut up some uncured hot dogs. So I got really good meat, and then layered it with cheese and put it in a cast iron skillet in the oven. So you have the filling of a chili cheese dog, but you don't have the bread. But it's like after I ate a bowl of it for lunch, I didn't feel like I was missing a thing. So I try to come up with things that you don't feel like you're missing anything. I'm enjoying my meal just as much as he'll enjoy it. So for that, that's something that he would enjoy because it feels like he's eating a chili cheese dog, and he'll go get a bun and he'll toss that on it. So that's what I try to do. But I did make good. So it was really good. And then now the season is starting to change. So you want things that are more hearty and more warm because the fall is coming around. So yeah. Yep. Looks like Rosio. What did she say?
She says, at our house, my husband and I are keto low carb. My 25-year-old is low carb. My 22-year-old is vegetarian. And my 4 other kids are on a regular food plan. We've been doing it for 2.5 years now. And those are the only children that Miss Rosio has at home. How many kids do you have altogether, Miss Rosio? She has a large family. I got you.
Wow.
So that's a lot of different things. And I'm sure she, as a mom, probably corroborates all of that too.
Oh my gosh. I definitely applaud her. He made like the lasagna on my channel. I'll have to, I'll make sure I go back and subscribe and take a look at your channel because he loves lasagna for sure.
She has 2 old vets. Is that your wife's recipe on your channel? Or is that the one you done? He's got a great channel. He's a good guy.
Okay, I'll have to check him out. But I applaud Rosie that she's able to manage so many different meal ideas because it can be challenging. Just having 2, if you just have a spouse, but if you have like vegetarian and then there's this and there's ketos and there's veg, I applaud her. That's
yes, I applaud her too. I couldn't imagine.
She said she has 6 and 3 are so. Wow, yeah, that's a lot to manage all of that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So two old vets is telling me that I've seen it. Well, Mr. 2 Old Vets, I have slept since I watched the video, I'm sure. but I will go back and check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out too. Definitely.
I
Yep.
am really up trying some newer recipes to get the husband on board, but so far he's
It's
not on
hard.
board.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
says no. He says he
Yeah.
misses his sweets. So I
Mm.
try to tell him that we can have sweets. It's just a different kind of sweet. We have to make plans. Do you have a sweet recipe that you really like?
Yes, I just recently did a carrot cake, a low carb keto carrot cake muffin. Oh my goodness. That one was great because it's the cream cheese icing. Fortunately, that's one thing I love about keto. Cream cheese is not off limits. And when you make a cream cheese icing and you pipe it onto your cupcake, and then the moisture from the carrots, that was by far, I had friends who were keto and non-keto try that recipe and they loved it. But Kimball, my husband, on the other hand, I've gotten accustomed to the monk fruit sweeteners and things of that nature. And I think that's what maybe throws non-ketoers off, is they're not accustomed to things that are not that whole processed sugar. Because it's yeah. So I
not
think
as sweet as they would like it to be, and it's never
exactly
going to be being another kind of sugar.
Right. So I think that's the key. But for me, I love it because I don't feel like I have that sugar rush that I've had my whole life. To me, it's just enough sweetness where it keeps me kind of like balanced, not where it's taking me up and down. So I appreciate that more than a Snickers or a Twix bar or something that I used to eat all the time. So
Right. That has you a complete drop once you've went through the sugar.
Yes.
If
Yes.
anything like I was, it was
No,
fun, and so it wasn't.
relate.
The crash.
Definitely.
Well, I'll have to look. I don't think I seen that one. I'll have to look that up because, like you said, it's that time of year.
Yeah.
Like so we have to. Okay, I remember that now. Two old vets, the lasagna, and instead of noodles, they have sliced zucchini in the middle of it.
Yep. Yep. I've done those before. No, you're absolutely right. Once you put that cheese and the sauce and the meat, you don't miss it. I don't miss the noodle when I do it like that. So I'll have to check out their recipe and see if they have a different spin to it. Yes.
Have you tried the palmini noodles?
Yes, I have. I'm not a fan of them, but then actually I just watched another YouTuber, and they said what they did was they took the palmini noodles and they boiled them first for like 15 and 20 minutes. So I think that might be the X factor for me. I think it was too crunchy for me, or it had that crunchy taste. I couldn't get past that as a noodle. But she said that she boiled it and it softened it up some. And so I said, well, maybe I'll give that a try and see if it changes the flavor for me.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to try that as well because I tried the lasagna noodle part, not like the spaghetti, and I'm with you. It was too firm. I mean, it set up well. It made the lasagna look good, but the taste profile's got to be there.
Agree.
So.
I totally agree. So I'm going to try that. I'll let you know what I think when I try it. I might record it, but I want to see if I like it first. I just wasn't a fan initially. Yeah.
Right. Have you tried the other noodles? I'm trying to think of what they're called. The
I've tried
miracle noodles.
I have. And the miracle noodles for me work better with a white sauce. I like it better with a white sauce than I do with a red sauce. I feel like the red sauce, it just kind of slips off a little bit because that noodle has that slippery kind of texture. But I find I will wash it really good. I put it in a skillet until I get all the moisture out. And when I do like a fettuccine, sometimes I'll do like a beef and mushroom fettuccine white sauce with heavy cream and butter. And I find that likes to, it soaks into the noodles a lot better and the flavor is amazing. So I've tried that one. I like miracle noodles. I can work with miracle noodles, but I like it better with a white sauce.
I couldn't get past the smell. I opened it and I rinsed them, and
you have to rinse it for a long time. It needs to just sit under hot water in a colander for like 3 to 5 minutes to get that smell out.
Yeah, I didn't rinse it that much, but I thought I might give it a try after I did the palmini, and I wasn't too enthused with those as well. I thought, well, maybe I'll give them another try. So I'll try to rinse them more next time. But that's the only thing I can think of that I'm missing that I haven't found a good replacement for. What do you think about the keto? go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was about to say they also have the low carb noodle, which is like, say, for instance, a regular pasta might be 40 some odd for 42 carbs or net carbs. They also have some that are low carb noodles that are half of that. So if I know I'm going to use like a low carb noodle, which is really a low carb noodle, then I would have to go like almost zero carb with everything. So breakfast might just be bacon and eggs, or to prepare for that meal. But they actually do still have some low carb pastas that are half the amount of carbs that you would get in your regular pasta. So that's another option too.
I didn't even think of that. I've just not even looked, right?
Yeah,
So I didn't even know that was available.
It's pretty tasty. I like it a lot.
Do you use a carb manager or MyFitnessPal or anything like that? Or are you counting everything, or are you counting just the carbohydrates, or how are you, maybe how did you start and what are you doing now?
Yeah, I would say, to be perfectly honest, I've done more of a lazy keto approach. And that was because when I first started playing with keto on and off a couple years ago is when I first was introduced to it. Started, stopped, and then I got back to this point. I would say the thought of understanding and calculating the macros threw me off, where I was like, okay, if I have to try to balance all of that, it's going to be more than I signed up for. So I got the Carb Counter, and then I tried, I think, MyFitnessPal and then Carb Counter, but now I use Carb Counter periodically. But now that I'm getting to the point where, as I get closer to my goal, I find that I need to probably use that tracker more, so I could really truly see if I'm going over my carbs just by a little bit, because I find that sometimes I feel like I'm not eating much, but then like aren't the numbers going down more. And I know sometimes when you get closer to a goal, it slows down. So I think I might need to start using my tracker more. So it's very hit or miss for me as far as how much I use it. Yeah.
And it's called the Carb Counter?
Mine is called, I use this app called the Carb Counter. Let me look on my phone real quick. But yeah, and it pretty much it's called, I'm sorry, the Carb Manager is the one I use.
Carb Manager. Okay.
And it's really good. And it shows you I like graphics, and it shows you, how much you've used for each meal as you go, the calories and your protein, your fat and your carb. And it just lets you know. Of course, it's hit or miss, because if you cook at home, of course, you know what you put in your food. But if you go out, it's a shoot in the wind. You don't know how much butter they used, or how much, this or that. And it's not going to be 100%.
Or what kind of butter, or what kind of other ingredients. People have quit going out to eat with me, Krissy.
Why?
I am asking Chef whomever in the kitchen, what of everything. Like, I just need to know. Don't sugarcoat it.
Right.
I've also started telling these people that I'm diabetic, which truthfully I am. I'm low blood sugar before I started keto. But if you say that word to them, they're more cautious about what they're doing to your food. And an example is when we went to the Taki Steakhouse when we were in Georgia. We got that steak, chicken, shrimp thing, but I asked him to give me my chicken without the sauce on it, teriyaki sauce. Like, I want that first. And you have to ask, and all they can say is no. I mean, if you don't ask.
Right. No, I totally agree with you.
Certain people who start rolling their eyes at me because they're like, oh gosh, she's going to embarrass us and ask all these questions.
I totally agree. You have to ask what you want. Yes, because all of that teriyaki sauce is going to have so much sugar in it. It's going to be laden in sugar. So no, I'm with you. We're at the point where if we drive to Starbucks and my husband is driving and I'm in the passenger, he's like, you go ahead and order, because it's always, can I have this and not the classic sweetener and this? And he just leans back and lets me yell across.
Listen, we just got a Starbucks where I work in Kentucky, and I'm going to take full credit of getting Starbucks in our town, because I emailed them so many. It's a college town. Why is there not a Starbucks in a college town? Y'all are missing out.
Yes.
So I have trained so many of the baristas over there that the manager was like, do you want a job? What do you pay? I would love to work here, but I would probably drink my money up, because you can't mess up on somebody's Starbucks order. But this poor guy, I started giving him the stuff I wanted in my drink, and every time I'd say something else, he'd start me a new drink. And I said, excuse me, all of that goes in one drink.
That is
All of those things go in one drink. And he was like, oh.
No, coffee is important. Your drink is awesome and it's important. It has to be right.
Coffee is very important.
Wow.
Okay, so Rosie says if you add salt on the zucchini noodles, let it sit on a towel, it'll release some of that moisture. And she was not a fan of the palmini noodles. So I've heard now doesn't like those noodles.
No, and it's amazing. I'll hear some people they rant about it and they love it. But I'm with you all. I don't care for them. I've tried several times. And I think I still have a couple of cans in my pantry. I was like,
So when you boil them and you use them next time, you tell me how that works out, and I will order more.
I'll be honest with you.
Colorful Keto.
Hi, Dory.
Yes. Hello, Colorful Keto with Dory. How are you? I sent you a message earlier. I hope you got it. And then all kinds of hearty faces.
Oh, hi, Dory.
She's great. Dory's great. If you don't know Dory, you need to go by.
No, I'll go check out Dory.
12 Vet says, I'm diabetic. I want fries and baked potatoes my side for the mac and cheese dinner. Stop it.
You can have cauliflower mac. Is that your dad? Oh, you can have cauliflower mac. So he can have mac and faux cheese. So
faux mac and cheese. I've got that recipe too. I actually had one of mac and cheese during the egg fast.
Oh yeah. I think I saw you. Yeah.
Interesting. So me and him yell about it all the time. Me and Mr. 2 Vet. His wife was doing it for a little while, doing the low carb for a little while, and we couldn't get him turned into it. So he didn't want
to. Okay. All right.
So a lot of people use that Carb Manager app. I hate tracking. It just throws me off. Yeah. It's too much stress for me to enter every morsel that goes through my lips into the app. But I'm with you on getting closer to your goal weight. It may just have to be, because eyeballing it for me is not working. So
I agree with you. The closer we get, I think we're gonna have to go to the app, because then that'll help us see everything and know where we need to pivot and change if something's not working. So yeah, I think I should start using it soon. That's what I feel.
And when you first started the keto, did you give yourself a huge goal to accomplish or get to?
Well, my heaviest weight was 223 pounds. So when I got to that weight, and what's so interesting is you don't even know you're at your highest weight until you look back at photos and you're like, oh, no one told me. But I don't think I would have been able to hear it if someone had told me. My feelings would have been hurt. But it's like you don't know until you look back and then you see these side-by-side profiles and you're like, you begin to appreciate how far you've come. But yeah, when I first started, I felt like, okay, and the goal that I set for myself, my long-term goal is 150 pounds. I want to get to 150. And so I realized that I had this long-term goal, but I didn't set many goals for myself. And so I had announced on my YouTube channel that my goal is by December 31st of this year, I wanted to lose 50 pounds. And so as the months began to go by, I was like, I still see what the big number is, but I'm going to have to chunk it into smaller goals for the month so I can get to that goal. And so it just dawned on me. I had a conversation with a friend of mine. She's a yoga instructor and a wellness coach in the Bay Area. Her name is Yoga. Her tagline is Yoga, Coco Be Yoga. And so we were just having a conversation. We were walking, and she said, we have to set smaller milestones. So what is going to be our goal for this week? What's going to be our goal for the month? And it helped me to see I had to make smaller goals to hit the larger goal. And all I kept saying is my larger goal, and I wasn't getting there in small increments. So that's definitely something I would say to people. Yes, set a long-term goal, but you have to break it into smaller, look at it. What are you going to be doing in the month of October? We know November is going to be lots of food. There's lots of, between October, even if you're a candy person, between October and December, there's so many holidays and so many festive days. You really have to set a plan to navigate. And so that's what I pretty much had to do to stay on track. And right now I'm at 179. So got from 223 to 179, but my goal is still 150. So I'm trying to, trot along to get to that goal, but it's not going to be easy.
It's not, and I agree with you making those smaller goals. We do see that big number, and when we first start, that seems more attainable because we're losing so much at the beginning. But now, like you say, we're closer to our goal, and it's going to be harder, so smaller. That's also a notable idea for you for a video if you aren't already doing that, setting your goals. Although the last two that I didn't meet any of the goals I set for myself, so I haven't done another one.
But that happens, though. That happens. Oh, I think Rosie was asking how much do I weigh and how tall am I? I am 5'5", and I currently weigh, like, literally, I just met that goal after carnivore diet last week. I got into the 170s. I mean, I scraped into the 170s, but I'm claiming 179 point, I think, like 6 or so is where I ended up at the end of carnivore. So it got me from the 80s, because I was just spinning in the 80s, 180s for like the whole month of September. I just lived in the 80s. It just was, I was maintaining. And then I woke up and realized, okay, if you don't move and set these smaller goals, you're going to still be where you are by December 31st. So, yeah. That's where I landed right now. So I'm trying to still keep it moving.
Okay. Well, good evening, VA011. I'm sure that's pronounced a different way, but that's
good evening.
I'm not good at that.
Yes.
So how long have you been doing keto? I think I remember.
Yeah, so I started 2017 is when I really began to hear more about keto. And I know keto's been around for a while, but I guess my ears had become perked up to keto in around 2017 when I got to about 223 pounds. And so between, I would say, Weight Watchers, low carb keto, that has kind of helped me get to where I am now. But 2017 is when I think my life changed. I had just gotten to a point where I realized you've got to pump the brakes and do something, because I just felt like it was, like I said, you'll see a photo and you look at yourself and you're like, okay, you have to stop now before it continues. And so that's pretty much where I got. I got to a point where I saw a photo and I had gotten to my largest weight, and I realized I needed to make a change. And I wasn't happy with the skin I was in. I think that's what you have to get to, a point where you're not satisfied with the person that you are. And I know we're more than just a number on a scale, right? And I never want people to feel like everything has to do with that number, because we're more than that. We're humans, we're beautiful people, we're caring people. But I just felt, even from a health standpoint, I wasn't at my healthiest. I wasn't able to move as much and do as much. I just felt like I could nap all the time. I just was not the best me at that time. So I needed to do something about it. And
right.
So, yeah.
I was about the same weight as you. I think I was 225 when I finally, we got something has to change. And the only person that can do that for me is me. So here we go.
Right.
Here we go. But
I agree. Yeah. Do we have any questions out there that we didn't see? What do you think?
I don't think so. That's what I was looking. Two Old Bets is leaving. Good evening, Mr. Two Old Bets. Tell your wife we said hello.
Yes, thanks for stopping by.
Rosie says the photo did it for her as well. Couldn't believe that was herself. I had an aunt send me a picture after one of our reunions of me and my boys, and I thought, oh, that's the reason I always try to pick the back of the line, even though I'm 5'2". Try to get behind somebody or put a kid in front of me. I thought, no way is that me. And my boys were little, and I thought, I couldn't walk with them and play with them, and let me sit down. You go do whatever you want to, and let me just sit
Sit
here.
here and hide. Yeah. And that's the thing about it, is usually someone in your family takes a picture of you stuffing something in your mouth. And it's like, well, why did you have to catch that shot? And so it just
Right.
out of,
Every shot you could take pictures of somebody else eating. You don't have to take
right.
me eating.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So,
Sorry to be distracted. I have somebody walking around out here in the parking lot.
oh yeah, be safe. Be safe out there.
I mean, I think I know who that is, but anyway, he came awful close to the door, like he was trying to figure out what I was doing. Go away, mister. I did check in with the business, so they know I'm out here. I'm a regular,
Yeah.
and if you guys can sit out some good vibes to this place here, I'm sitting at Sweet Jordan's coffee shop, and Jordan himself is in the hospital with double pneumonia. So let's send him out some. I know, send him out some prayers.
And
Not the CO thing, but he is sick and down. So you can send some prayers for him. That'd be great. So Rosie started at 184, and she's only 5'2". So we all.
Yeah. We're all around that same height, 5'2", between 5'2", 5'5". Yeah. Where's Rosie now? What weight is she at now? Is she she said she started at 182. Is she at goal weight? Do you know?
I'm not sure if Rosie, if you can, if you're still here, answer that for us. I can't recall, to be honest with you. Like I see her on Facebook, but I can't. She's beautiful either way. But
beautiful person. Yeah. I'll have to go back and watch the video at the end and go to everyone's channel that came through. Oh, Latrice.
Okay,
how do you stay motivated, Krissy? Who are your supports? Oh, that's a good question, Latrice. How do you stay motivated and who are your supports? I would say, like you said, that whole motivation thing, you have to kind of inspire yourself to get going. But then I find, because that whole flame and that spark has to come from within, because you have to get to a point where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. But then from that point, you have your outlet and your circle of people in your life that I find it's having people and friends that have common goals is very helpful, right? And so I have a person that I walk with. We walk almost pretty much at least 4 to 7 days a week. We do some type of activity together. And so that helps, I think, because you'll begin to have like an accountability partner and a network of people in your life that when you might not feel like pushing through, you know that, okay, every day we committed to doing this. And that has helped me a lot, just having accountability partners. And having people with common goals. If you want to be successful, you have to be around people who want to be successful. If you want to be healthy, it helps to be around people who want to be healthier, and you motivate each other. So I would say that to anybody. If you can have an accountability partner or someone who is moving in the same direction that you are, it really helps on those days that you don't feel motivated to work out that day or to eat so well that day, but it just helps you stay accountable. So, yeah.
Okay, well, Rosie answered for us. She said, I made it down to 148, then went back up to 165. I'm trying to get back down and reach 135, which is my goal. Thank you for the compliment.
Yes, Rosie. Rosie, you're just being real. I mean, in this journey, I think we all go up and we all go down, and then we stabilize. It's just, it's life. But I love the fact that, as you know, whether it's weight or whether it's feeling good or feeling healthier, or some people say that keto or low carb or whatever health plan or food plan they're on has changed their numbers when they've gone to the doctor. So it's more than just weight. It's it can be life, just having a healthier lifestyle. So I applaud you for just changing what you need to do to be a healthier person. So I think that's great.
Right. And we have one other question. How were you staying motivation during the lockdown?
That is a great question. And what's interesting is before COVID, so my situation was a little interesting. So right before COVID, I think COVID happened like before the end of March. I would say my birthday was March 15th. I think a week before my birthday, I had to have surgery. And so I literally went from surgery into COVID into recovery. And so I had started getting to the point where I had just kind of phased into intermittent fasting. I didn't have an appetite. So I would kind of moved into, without trying, intermittent fasting naturally, where I started eating my first meal around 11:30 and 12. And so after COVID, we went from in the Bay Area to COVID to fires. And so I, again, with my accountability partner, because no one wanted to go to the gym, you just didn't feel safe. We started going to the park and taking our mat and doing circuits in the park because, for one, because of COVID, we weren't going anywhere. So from a mental health and wellness, we would go out, get some fresh air, sunshine, and do our workout in the park. And then when the smokes came from the fire, we would go into my garage. So I would say COVID was, I think, because of the shelter in place and missing that interaction with, because I have a whole network of people that I interact with, with my church community, with family and friends, and I was missing that. And so we would socially distance. We'd have our mat in the big park, and we would have our little music, and we'd have our schedule of our circuit, and we would just get out and do that. So I would say, because of COVID and not having that outlet of going into the gym, we made the park our gym, and just that alone, because it kind of gave me the refresher of I needed mental clarity, and that alone, I think, being in COVID and locked up and locked down, that was helpful. So I would recommend that to anyone. If you can get to a park and just get that fresh air, and you might not be able to be around as many people as you once were, but it really helps. And it really helped me too to, press past that COVID lockdown, shelter in place, just loneliness, because it was a lonely situation for a minute, just not having that circle of community that you might have once had in your life. So that really helped.
Right. Yes, missing people. I'm a people person, and just missing the whole people. I was the same with you. I mean, I didn't have anybody to go with me, but I showed up at the park and still done my thing. And
yes.
So
yes, I think that's awesome. Yep.
So Rosio is commenting on what you had said about the doctor's office. I went to the doctor on Friday and got my lab results yesterday. No diabetes, no cholesterol, no thyroid issues. I was on keto, and she said, keep doing whatever it is you're doing.
Rosie, I applaud you. That is a wonderful report. And I love it, because it's not just about weight loss. It's about health. And this showed that it changed her health for the better. So that's wonderful.
Overall numbers.
Yes.
Did you have other health issues besides the weight thing? Did you have diabetes or anything else that you were going on?
Fortunately and thankfully, no, I didn't have any health issues or anything of that nature. But definitely was getting to the point where a lot of knees were carrying around a lot of weight that it needed to release itself. But fortunately, there was no health issues. So
that's great. You corrected it none too soon, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Rosie says her doctor assumed that she was pre-diabetic just because her mom has diabetes, and she was surprised at that.
I see. That's awesome, Rosie. That's wonderful.
I've kicked a lot of doctors out that try to question the keto.
I know. Yeah,
you don't understand. Yeah, you don't understand where we were before.
Yeah, it's made a difference. So
right.
Yeah, but I know doctors are on the fence with that. Some either love it or they hate it. So it just kind of depends on.
They don't know enough to have an opinion, and they should probably say that. Some of them should just say, I don't know enough about this to have an opinion, because they're 50 years ago when they learned whatever they learned doesn't apply any longer. So
I totally agree. Yeah. Totally agree.
I thought I missed a question, but I guess it was not.
I'm trying to see if I see anything on the side. I don't. Let's see here. Let's see.
Rosio started because she didn't want to be where her mom was, and that's really why I started as well. My mom was sick, and I just didn't want to go down that path. I needed to be healthier for myself. So that is where I started as well. So I think we all have this big something, that this aha moment where we say we can't go this route any longer and we have to do something better
Have to
for
make that
ourselves.
change. Yeah, make a major turn in the road. So, yep, I think we all have that aha moment or that thing that motivates us to kick it in a gear. Yeah, I agree.
After you decided that, you said your ears perked up to the keto, and then you decided to research into it for yourself. Is there is there a personality or a doctor that you found first, or you found most helpful to help you with your keto?
Yeah, I follow Dr. Berg, as everyone knows. He has a lot of good information. So Dr. Berg, I would watch him. And there were a lot of YouTube channels that of people that I would watch also. But Dr. Berg, I think, he had a kind of common sense approach to it, I thought. I mean, you just never know when you're watching who, because you might watch YouTube channels, but like everyone says, we're not medical professionals. So it is important whenever you change a plan or you do something, you got to do your research because, this is about you as a person. And, and so I would say I would recommend that to anyone, even though I do follow a lot of channels. When I'm trying to decide, okay, do I want to intermittent fast and what's autophagy, all that. So I'll go and I'll search out different doctors. Like I think Dr. Fung was one that was really key in intermittent and fasting. And so those two I've kind of followed a little bit. And there was another doctor too that was really instrumental in keto, but the name is leaving me right now. But definitely Dr. Berg was a big one that I would follow and watch his YouTube videos a lot.
Right. And is your plan that you follow now for yourself, like you said, it was a lazy kind of a keto, is it more of, say, a Dr. Berg plan? I think he's, but not necessarily. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I would say for, I know some people are more so their philosophy is moderate protein, high fat, and low carb for keto. But I kind of flipped it on its head a little bit, and I prefer to do more protein and then supplement my fats with like healthier fats like olive oil and ghee or something of that nature. So even though you can do cream cheese or you can do cheese, I find sometimes if I do too much of that heavy dairy, it'll stall me. And so I find eating more protein will satiate me. And then I try not to go overboard with the cheese. Like today was the first time I think I made some type of like a casserole chili kind of thing where I sprinkled some cheese on top. But for the most part, I try to be very careful because even though you can have a lot of things, you have to really look and see how does that impact your body because you have to gauge yourself to see what's working and what's not. But how did that react on the scale in a couple of days? Was it, did it bloat you? How does your stomach feel? How does your digestive tract feel? So I find it's, you really have to monitor your body throughout different things you incorporate into your diet or eat too much of, and you'll see what your body wants and what your body will react to negatively and positively. And so I prefer more protein and not so much in healthier fats. I'll put it that way.
Okay. And are you a net carber or a total carber?
I'm more so net carber.
Are you net carber?
Yeah.
Your husband's taking. He says he's motivating you over here. He thinks he motivates you as well.
He motivates me, all right.
And here is pink motivation. Hello, Miss Latrice. How are you tonight? She says she's so happy that she made it. We're happy you made it too.
So good to see her. I watch her. I go to her channel.
I feel like we need some cheerleaders squad here.
I saw her pom-poms the other day.
I couldn't think of the name of the
I knew you were talking pom-poms. I saw that the
what
other
is
day.
the word?
Yeah. She's doing it was pom-poms.
She's doing the yoga with us, Miss Pink.
I saw that. Yes. I love that. Oh, net carber.
V8011. What is a net carber? Net carbs means that you take the fiber, you minus fiber, and you minus sugar, alcohol, right?
Yep, from that total carb count.
From the total carb count, which could lead you to a heavier carb count. Now, I'm a total carber, and only because I started with Dr. Westman, and that is how I had started the plan. So when I let myself do the net carbs, it's a slippery slope for me. I'm an overeater. And so if I can swiggle 2 or 3 Quest products in a day for me, I'm going to, which that's not good for me to have all of those in one day. But if I say 50 net carbs, well, I'm going to go for all the stuff, right?
Yeah. No, I guess you're right. It depends on whether you want to track every single thing to keep you accountable, or do you want to do the subtraction? I just was like, okay, let me do net carb and maybe that little buffer up a little bit. But no,
help a little bit. Yeah. I also try to stay higher on the fat on my side because of arthritis. I have rheumatoid arthritis, which is the main reason I started keto, not just from the weight aspect, but the pain level of my arthritis. So
do you find that
helps me on a therapeutic level of the fat end of things, helps me feel better. But as far as you were talking about the foods that you can tell those foods satiate you.
They do. They really do.
I can tell a difference. And you were talking about chicken earlier, and it made me think about chicken doesn't satiate me as much as, say, ground beef is going to satiate me, or that ribeye, or what the red meats do. And I got a family member into keto because we both went to a steakhouse one night and we had a steak with butter on top of it. And when I got done with that steak, my body was saying, thank you. I mean, I don't know how any other way to explain it as to, I felt so satiated. I couldn't eat another thing, even though they were having desserts and drinks, and I was fine. I was done eating, and my body said, thank you for that, so we really have to listen to ourselves.
Exactly. And that fat in the ribeye, it does. You're absolutely right. It satiates you, and it carries you. I mean, I think I had my last meal around 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's now almost 5 Pacific Standard, and I'm fine. I don't usually every 4 or 5 hours or so, then I might be ready for a meal, but it keeps you satisfied, which is what we need, because you don't want to constantly feel like I'm starving. That's the worst feeling.
Eat something to spike your insulin level. Every time you eat or drink anything sweet, as we know, or savory, it spikes your insulin level every time. And so I also try to be better with that. So do you do 2 meals a day most days? Are you still fasting?
So most days I do 2 meals and I start at 11:30. But if I cut off say for instance, I eat my last meal at 2:00, odds are I'm going to be hungry early in the morning, and then I probably will eat some bacon at around 9:30. So if I can go and so sometimes I move my window. It's probably best that I keep it pretty consistent, but it just depends. If I'm not hungry and I eat and I feel like I'm not hungry, and then I go to bed early enough because that's another thing too. Sleep is so important. If you stay up too late, it's be 8 hours and you haven't had a meal, and you'll want to eat something at midnight, which is terrible. So it's like one of those things that I try 2 meals, but sometimes I'll do 3. It just depends on what I had in each of those meals.
I definitely need to get on your board with that more sleep. I seen that you were trying to make sure for yourself. 8 hours is a dream around here, girl.
It's
8
hard.
hours is a dream. I don't know that I could fit in 8 hours along with everything else in the day, but it is so helpful for real. It needs to be.
I didn't hit it every day for those 5 days. It's hard for me. I might have gotten in the bed and I'm laying down at 10, but the odds are I'm still wide awake for another hour and a half. And so I'm working on it.
Are you bad like me and take your phone with you to bed? I'm going to lay down early and go to bed. Well, not if you have your phone in there. You're not.
Right.
Yeah. Well, me and my husband we don't really say a whole lot of negative things to each other, but in the evening when you went to bed and now you're on your phone in the bed, it's like phone back in the living room, go plug it up, turn it off, disconnect.
Disconnect. Yes.
I'm the world's worst at that.
It's hard. It is so tough.
Okay, guys, does anybody else have any more questions? I think we have a couple of people still left in here with us.
Mm-hmm.
I think we covered everything that they have put into our comment section.
That's
Have you
awesome.
vlogged in public yet? Have you carried your camera in public yet?
Not really. I've gone, when I'm going through the drive-through, and I might say, okay, guys, I'm going to, order something at Starbucks, and I let them hear my order, but I haven't, done a grocery haul where I'm recording and doing a lot of camera, because it depends. Sometimes you'll get people that want you to put your camera down. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's acceptable, but it's more of, okay, I'm going through the drive-through here at Starbucks, and here's my common order. I'm going here to Wendy's and I'm going to get a Baconator without the bun, just kind of hearing that whole, but I've not done a lot of that. How about you? Do you do it often?
Not often, but I'm doing more than I had been doing out in public. Nice. And it's a mixed bag at the reaction. You're correct at, but like my drive-through places that I'm frequently in there, I will ask first, do you mind if I put likes on YouTube, or because sometimes I'm videoing us both. And then you have some businesses who flat out say, they'll come and ask me to quit recording, which is fine with me too. But I try to ask up front.
That's a good idea.
Each thing is different. Like my Kroger is perfectly fine with it. They have no problem showing anybody. The only thing they ask is if somebody asks you not to put, not to record them. Of course, you either put something over their faces or, if I notice someone's really staring hard at me, then I'll cover with my editing program. I'll just cover their face, and that way, I know who it is, but they're not. I don't want them to be on the screen without realizing it. But I just wonder how you dealt with that.
Yeah, I have to do it more. So that's something I need to do a little bit more of, the vlogging, daily vlogging, and showing day in the life. So that's something that, but it definitely requires a lot more editing, like on a regular basis, to get them up.
It does, because you have just like I have 20 snippets of my day, and now I've got to put them all together in that editing program. And I'm the world's worst at trying to be perfectionist about it. And I'm trying to take out all the uhs and the ums and
I know.
But then you take your personality out of it too. So I've let some of that go, where, it's only a 15-minute video. You don't need to spend 4 hours editing it to perfection.
Exactly. It's a balance.
Just let it go. Just let it go. What do you edit with, by the way? What program do you edit?
I use, what is this called? iMovie. So I'll start with the video, then I drop it in iMovie and then edit it. And then my husband is the person who will upload everything into YouTube for me. And so I don't know what software he has on his computer when he puts in the finishing touches, but I start it all on iMovie, then I move it into Dropbox, and then we just have our little production thing that we do together. And then he'll upload it, because there's several steps in YouTube as well to get it in there and live. So he helps me out a lot with that piece of it, which makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's good. I wonder if I can talk my husband into doing that for me. Hey, husband. We're home with Krissy's husband does this for her. Can you upload my stuff for me?
No, he makes it a lot easier. So I'm thankful. Yeah.
So when are we going to see him on film? Does he not like to be on the film side of things?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the best way. Do I want to do like that whole, I'm really thinking about doing that whole interview with him and living in a household where you have two totally opposite, fitness plans and goals, and how do you make that work? Even from food and fitness, and require total different caloric. I mean, like he said, he eats over like about 4,000 calories a day. And then the types of foods he eats is totally different. So I'm trying to think of because I know there are a lot of people who can relate to that story. So that's probably how I introduced him. And he does a lot of strength training. So there's different, maybe fitness exercise routines, maybe someone who's starting out. So I'm trying to think of a cool way to incorporate him into something that people would find really helpful and informative. So that's my plan. Yeah, I saw you introduce your husband through the fishing. That was your husband, right? On the boat fishing? Yeah.
Listen, he has no interest whatsoever. And the funny part about that video is I was trying to get a wide screenshot of the lake. And when I panned to him, he gave me this ugly face. I said, I'm using that. He said, don't you dare. No, I'm using that. From here forward, every time you give me that ugly face, I'm putting you front and center. So that's what I do with the thumbnail. You stupid look.
So be careful what you do.
He literally hates it. I mean, we talked about it before I started the YouTube, but I don't think he thought I was going to put them in it. I mean, how can I not, right?
Right. So funny.
And the editing version of trying to take out his antics out of the fishing video is very interesting. I need to start saving those clips and putting them all in a roll somewhere that says, the blooper roll or something.
That would be funny. That's hilarious.
We got back from vacation. I'm gonna put this somewhere. I don't know where yet, but we got back from vacation and I was gone for 7 days. I probably got 7 hours, no kidding, the whole entire time I was gone. We visited till late nights and got up early morning. I'm one of those people who can't sleep in somebody else's household when it's quiet. I'm too energetic, so I have to get up. And so I got back and I'm sitting there eating. This is the next day. I'm still exhausted. And he says, look at that huge woodpecker on the tree out front. And I'm thinking, so I grab my phone and of course I want to do the nature shot and he's messing with me. It's a stupid wooden woodpecker. It's huge. It doesn't move. And I'm thinking, why isn't this thing moving? He totally got me. I was like, so that's what kind of person I'm dealing with at home.
He keeps things lively. That's good.
It's just like another child. Just like another child.
Now, if you want him to help you with the videos, you have to be nice.
No, he wouldn't know how to. He doesn't know the line. He calls everything face licking. Facebook, Instagram, Clapper, whatever I'm doing. YouTube, he says, quit face licking.
So funny.
He don't know. He's one of those. He don't know. Does your husband have his own channel, or did he just start that as a way to? He does have his own channel.
It's called the Kimball Project. So he's more of showing just different projects, basically, that he's working on, down to like anything that happens with the car, mechanical type of fixes, down to windshield wiper malfunctions. He did our hardwood floors. So he just kind of captures projects and shares them. So that's his channel. I told him he should do a fitness channel, but he hasn't done that yet. But
well, he should, or just throw it in. I mean, it's the Kimball Project, himself as a project. You could just go
throw it in there, a video catalog or directory with fitness. That's a good point. Yeah.
When I first started my channel, I was called Keto Michelle. And then I decided I wanted to put more than keto on my channel. That's the reason we are now at Life Adventures and Keto, because I felt like it took me into a niche that I wanted to share more. So I say throw it all in there. Throw it all in there.
I think even with It's Simply Krissy, that can be so many simplicity and so many things. So that's why I'm the same way. I didn't want to, even though my focus right now is the whole goal that I have, but I still wanted to have a channel where I could share more of life and things I do overall. So yeah, definitely. I totally get you with your title. Makes sense. Yeah. Wow.
Well, the Kimball Project, you need to start that. There's a lot of good.
Yes.
Is he clean eating? Does he do the clean eating approach or no? Look at that face. No, that's a no.
Dunkin' Donuts, Subway.
Oh no.
No. He feels like he needs to get those calories in, so he's not doing it. But if he had to eat 4,000 calories of clean eating, he would be eating a lot of expensive things. But he could eat a bunch of white rice and get a whole bunch of carbs in and still get the sugar that he needs to lift, because a lot of that carb just turns into straight sugar and glucose, which gives him his energy when he works out, right? So for him, he's not eating clean by any means.
By any means. I could tell by that face. Your face can't lie either. You're like, no. He says he's going to work on another channel called Iron Core Fitness.
Yes, he does. Yeah, that's his tagline is Iron Core. Yeah.
Iron Core Fitness.
Yes,
Oh no, he says.
Oh God. Holy moly.
He says, oh no. Well, I hope he keeps some of those carbs in his vehicle and not bring them all in your house. But if he's anything like my husband, he brings them in the house and says, would you like some?
Yes. Temptation.
No, I don't want.
Yeah, so it's
Why do they do that to us? Why do they do that?
They do, but it's like he tries his best to just try to keep them clear and in the pantry, but it's still, I know what's in there. I know what's in the pantry.
If you're like me, you bring them into the household. My husband says, why do you keep bringing me the bad stuff if you don't want me to eat it? Well, you're going to stop by somewhere and get it anyway. I might as well just bring it here to you. At least it's cheaper that way.
Exactly, because you're going to, find a nice deal or something. But yeah, I'm with you. I just went to Costco and I just got him a whole box of Oreos. I was like, here you go. At least it's cheaper at Costco. Have at it.
Here's your diabetic food. Please don't come on me, right?
Gosh, yes.
Hello, Miss Tony Damien. Tony Damien says hello. That is Tony Talks Keto.
Oh, Tony. Okay. I'm gonna have to check Tony Talks Keto. Okay. Hi.
And she has a mean refrigerator.
A mean refrigerator? What do you mean?
She has one of those newer refrigerators, and we're on another channel who does a lot of lives, and he makes fun of her refrigerator all the time because it's one of those where you can, text it and say, hey, what's my list? Or you could look in it while you're somewhere else.
Nice.
She's got some great recipes.
I'm gonna have to, I might, if I don't see what their channel is based on their name, I might just ping you and say, what is this channel? What's her channel? And look it up for some of the people. Yeah.
Of course, the live comments, it might not load your channel, where I wish they hadn't done that. I don't know if you were on YouTube before they quit doing that, but you used to could touch on Tony's name and it would take you to Tony's channel, but now you have to do a lot of investigating yourself because of the sub channels messed it up.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
Tony says she's Tony Talks Vegan Keto right now. Are you still doing that, Tony? I didn't know you were still doing the vegan. Although I seen you have salmon or tuna fish. That's not vegan, is it, Tony?
I'm writing that down. Tony Talks Vegan. You have to check that out. Because sometimes I play around with the idea of vegetarian. I know that's totally different than vegan, but I'm curious to see what types of recipes she can incorporate into the whole keto lifestyle with vegan. That's interesting.
Right. I think she took, she's doing one more week. She says she took a challenge from another channel to do the keto, do the vegan, I mean.
Okay.
So I don't know what the difference between vegetarian and vegan is. So maybe that's the difference. She had some fish on there. So.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check out that channel. I'd love to see for me, I love recipes because it gives you an idea of what you can do in different diet plans. So I love checking out recipes. So I'll definitely check out her channel. Mm-hmm.
Is there one kitchen appliance that you like the best for your keto stuff?
I love my air fryer. That air fryer has made such a difference because you can cook almost anything in it, and it's just sits right there on your counter. Your salmon just turns out amazing. It's like everything just turns out. I love my air fryer. I think it's my favorite right now. Even down when I did the whole low carb nachos one night on my channel, and I took the low carb tortilla and cut them all out and put it in the air fryer, and they were amazing chips. I was like, okay, this is not bad. So I try to experiment with fun things, recipes.
I did see that one. I have not done. I do have a air fryer, but that's why I was asking.
Yes, I love the air fryer.
Well, she's explaining. I asked her a question. The vegan is just a challenge, but my friend has to have fish for B12 once a week, so she was doing the same diet.
Awesome.
Is there another channel that you follow frequently? Not just a doctor. I think I'd asked you about the doctor, but like a keto personality that we might not be aware of.
I'm sure everybody has heard of Nicole Burgess. Burgess, I think is her name. I follow her. I follow There's another person, Christy. She has a channel, Christy something. I also like to follow, what's her name? Gosh, I can't even think of her name now. I have so many channels I subscribe to, and they just pop up, and I just, as I'm getting dressed, or I'm just listening in the background. Your channel, of course, I've subscribed to. And so, yeah, and I think Pink is her name. What's her
Pink
name?
Motivation.
Yeah, I've
Pink.
subscribed to her channel. So, yeah, when I think I joined your live one time, and I saw a lot of people in your community, and I was like, oh, let me check and support some of these channels. Yeah. So, yeah.
Healthy to Journey, is that the Krissy channel that you're talking about, or Krissy Davis, maybe?
Oh, yes. Yep, it's Krissy Davis.
Krissy Davis. I think that's the Healthy Journey or something like that. But anyway, I think I follow her as well. There's not enough hours in the day to follow everyone, but I try.
Yeah, and then some people, I might not get to their things but a couple of days later. But like you said, there's so many. If you subscribe to channels, there's constant information that's popping up. I think I could be
and
on
a lot of them download daily, so I certainly can't keep up with that. I can't watch a daily video.
I can't keep up either.
But I tell people, as much as I nitpick on my editing, I'm not watching your channel. I'm listening because I'm at work cleaning while I'm listening to these channels. So a lot of the things I don't see you doing any of this unless you're talking about something, a meal or something that I'm like, oh, what is that? Or so I just have to pull it back and look.
Mm-hmm. And it's nice to be able to multitask, like you said, and listen to what different ones are talking about. It's like you kind of feel like you're following their journey. So it's pretty nice.
Right.
That part is really cool.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I like to learn the backstory on someone so I can know where they came from and where they're going, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm also a multiple commenter, so if I do that to you, I apologize. But I comment as I listen to it. So because I forget, I'm thinking if I get at the end, I'll forget what I wanted to say or wanted to respond to, and that kind of thing.
Yes. No, I love that. I love the interact. I love when people comment because I like to always comment back too. So I love it when people make comments and they're talking about what they saw on the channel, which is good because you feel like, oh, okay, somebody saw this video. They're really listening. So that part is awesome.
Paying attention. They have questions. I love it when they ask questions and I can, like you say, make a video idea out of the question that they might have asked.
I agree.
But you'll definitely see more interaction on your channel if you, like we had talked about, you finding some more platforms to be on that. And I had asked you earlier, and you may not have seen it because we've been communicating so much, but as the hashtags or tags on your videos, I didn't know if you use those to your ability as well.
Yeah, I have to use that more because I know a lot of times when he'll upload the video, he'll constantly put it in different categories like keto, fitness, low carb. So he'll do a lot of taglines, tag words when he uploads the videos. But I have to
use the tag words.
Tag words.
I don't know if you use another kind of platform to explain more of the YouTube antics to you, but I feel like TubeBuddy gives me a lot of information that some of the other platforms might not have informed me on. It'll give you a platform to ask about searchable words, what would be the most keto searchable, and kind of put those into your tags as well. On your carnivore challenge, I would have definitely put in the hashtag carnivore when you named it description, because a lot of times I know I'll look into like when I was looking at Dr. Westman, his is page 4. So if you hashtag page 4, just all kinds of information comes up. You don't necessarily have to type out the big long word, So sometimes hashtags. Okay.
I'm taking notes. And you said TubeBuddy and then
TubeBuddy. I feel like, hashtags I feel like are more searchable too. So if you're carnivore challenge, if you had put maybe the hashtag carnivore, somebody else might have come across it just because of carnivore and been interested.
That's a good point. Okay.
I also changed my channel from vlog to entertainment, and I've seen more traffic come by. Not that they stick, but on a daily video, it seems like there's more people finding it. I don't know if that really helps or not,
Some
but I thought I'd throw that
Okay.
out to you too. The category, just try different categories that he's uploading you in, and
Okay.
you know, one of the other ones might
Put it out there and see what happens. No, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. And you can always change that back. You're not locked in. If today it didn't work well or whatever, you could always go from there.
You always give such helpful pointers. So this is good. I appreciate that.
Well, you reach out anytime that you have a question. I'm more than happy to help you with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Tony asked, what am I editing with? Tony, I'm editing with Cinemaster, I think is how you say it. I had been calling it KindMaster, and my lovely nephew told me I was saying it wrong. So Cinemaster, KindMaster, however you say it. That's what I use. But I'm only working on a cell phone, so a lot of the platforms that you guys with the computer can use, I can't use on my cell phone. It's not I don't know the word, but it just is not accepted on my cell phone. So, and I have to
through your cell phone, all of it, editing down to uploading to everything,
to comments to everything.
Well, that's pretty good that the phone is able to manage all that, and you're able to see all these comments and everything live. So that's pretty good. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, Papa just walked through the door, so they actually heard.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, does anyone else have any questions for Krissy here? If not, we will simply say goodbye to her, unless she has something that she would like to.
Yeah. No, I think this was really great. I appreciate, the invitation to be on your channel.
Awesome. We need to get more people by your channel. You're great.
Definitely.
I've learned some things, and we have some interests in the common, so we need to find something we can collab on, because I love those. Those seem to be so fun.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely think about a collab that we could do for sure. Yeah, but thank you so much. This was great.
Tell Mr. The Kimball Project that I'm going to be looking for Iron Core. Okay. What did you call it? Iron Core Fitness.
Yes. Yes. Awesome.
I can certainly introduce him to that side of the world too. I have some people over there too.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. This was great. I enjoyed stopping by your channel. So I'll definitely.
You have a great night. And if somebody puts in a question after the fact, I'll put it in the comments. Ask you and put it in the comments when it uploads.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You're so welcome. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Guys. Okay, that was great. It's Simply Krissy. If you missed her channel name at the beginning, I have her in the very first comment on the live comments. And when this uploads, I'll put her in the comments on the video as well, so that you could find it's Simply Krissy as well. Like I say, she's a great channel. And okay, great, Tony. Tony has found her already, so it's a great name. That name choice was great. I meant to tell her that, because it comes right up when you type it in, unlike mine when I downlog sometimes with the name choices. But I appreciate all of you being here, the 4 that are left, and I will see you guys next time. Keto on and keto strong. Bye, guys.